guys, it's Sam. I wanted to come on today and do a little planner chat. So this is obviously a face-to-face video, which I haven't done that many of for planner videos. So it's going to be a chat. If you don't want to watch me, that's fine. You can just put this video on as you're doing your thing or your own planning. It's fine to just listen. But I was thinking a lot this week about the year so far. You know, we're almost into summer and so much of the year has already passed by. And I was just kind of thinking back to the beginnings of this year, what some of my goals had been. And one of the big ones was my failed no-buy. And for a while, I was pretty disappointed in myself for allowing myself to, quit or fail. And I was really thinking about it. And even though I started sometime in December before the year ever began, and I feel like I made it through to like March. I don't remember really, but I know that I made it several months, and this was coming from a person who never attempted even like a month no buy or a week no buy, and I just always did the whole I do what I want and I buy what I want when I want. And so this was quite a big undertaking, but I was so excited at the time that I was like, go big, right? Like if you're gonna do it all the way. And I think that for me, that was I was my own worst enemy and all of that. Not that saying no to all of the things for a whole year would have killed me or anything like that. But I don't know, I kind of am I go all the way or I don't go at all. And I've kind of been like that in my fitness journey as well. It wasn't enough for me to, start counting calories or anything like that. I threw myself into strict keto, and that all happened within a day. There was like no gradual stepping down. It was just, okay, you're keto now, and that's how it's been. And, nope, now I work out. And aside from sickness, I have worked out 5 to 6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, every week since I started this journey with my health almost 14 months ago. And it obviously has had some really good benefits to me. And so I guess I was just thinking, if I can do this, if I can conquer sugar and not consume it for, at that point, I don't know, it was closing in on a year, like 8, 9, 10 months without sugar. I guess I just thought that was such a hurdle. That was such a big mountain to climb that obviously nothing else could be as difficult as that journey had been. And if I could succeed at that, I could succeed at anything. And I quickly learned that that was actually not the case. And I feel like it was probably a lot of just me trying to restrict too much in my life, saying no, complete no in so many areas of my life. And I just kind of needed a place where there weren't as many rules. But in my mind, because I was so strict with my rules in my fitness, then that is what I needed in any other area in my life. But I was wrong. But even though I failed the no buy, I don't feel like I have failed. I have learned some really important lessons, and I would like to share with you today what those lessons are. So if you happen to be new here, welcome. My name is Sam, and I talk about planning. Now, I sometimes also talk about my health and wellness journey, and I also like to talk about the bags that I put my planners in. But it's mostly planners. So I hope that you will stick around and watch this video or listen. And if you are a regular viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I know that I can be a little bit all over the place, so I always appreciate it when you guys stick with me. So I have taken notes for this video because I do want to try to stay focused and dialed in. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. I have 5 things that I have learned from this no buy fail this year. And the first one is, just because I like it doesn't mean I need to buy it. I kind of always made it kind of like a challenge every time we would go out on the weekend to Marshall's or TJ Maxx or all of those circuits of all of those different stores, that I would find a mug. Other than planners, I have a couple of other collections. I like to collect leather handbags, which I don't think has ever gotten as bad as like the whole planner thing. And mugs. I definitely like to collect mugs. And so, like I said, I would make it kind of a challenge for the weekend to find a mug to purchase. And I had way too many mugs. I probably still have way too many mugs. But this year, one of the things, because this challenge wasn't only about planner stuff, it spilled into a lot of different areas. And I think that was, again, another reason why I failed. But one of the categories was mugs. And I am proud of myself because what I have found is, even though I have taken away the no buy, I still have very much in my mind a low buy. And now I am much more mindful about how much do I like this mug? Do I see myself using this mug a year from now? Am I still going to be happy? Is this trendy, or is this something that speaks more to me? Is it earthy? Are there, those kinds of elements about it? Am I still going to love this a year from now? And so I see things through a completely different lens. And what happens generally now is I just kind of walk by the whole mug area and I'll just do a brief pass, not even going into the aisle many, many times. And I'll just kind of just do a quick glance with my eyeballs. And if I don't see any of the color palettes that I'm looking for, I don't even enter the aisle. And I have been doing really, really well. So I personally, I think this year I have purchased one mug. And that's insane for me. And then there's a couple of other mugs that have been purchased for me as gifts. And I still think there's like 3 or 4. I'm thinking it's 3 though. 3 mugs that have been added to my mug collection for the year. And that is really good. I'm giving myself like pats on the back, high fives, because that's really awesome. So that has kind of turned into a new thing for me overall. And so it's with planners or with ephemera, or I've stopped going into the places that are triggers for me. I still go into Marshalls and TJ Maxx and those kinds of places, but I'm looking for different things. I'm in my health and wellness journey. My sizes are always going down. I'm constantly needing to buy new clothes, and so I'll pick up something here or there. And then when I'm walking by, I'll look to see about the mug situation. But honestly, I have not been feeling the itch to make these kinds of purchases. So I feel like overall, I have purchased less things because of the questions that I've started asking myself about the whole situation. Just because you like it doesn't mean you have to have it. And you can stand there at a store or look at something online and say, that's really pretty, and then walk away. Admire it from afar. Doesn't mean I have to have it in my life. Do I have the room for it? Do I have the storage for it? Is this going to fit in with my collection? Do I really, really, really need this item? So that is, I feel like, a huge win and definitely not a fail. The second one is delayed checkout often turns into a no buy. And it used to be that I would see something that I would like and I would like rush, okay, oh wow, that's what I need to have that. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, I think I'll have one of those. And through the checkout I go. And then I'd kind of almost forgotten about it, or I wasn't as excited about it by the time that it arrived. And then I'm just stuck with this thing that I spent money on. And so I have been kind of challenging myself. I leave things in the checkout. I do more research. I always was like the Googling it, like what people thought, or reviews or videos, if I could get my hands on any of that. But now I'm like, okay, let's let this sit. And I rarely, there's only been a small handful of times that I have just been like, okay, this is right for me and I'm checking this out. And it's like everything. I go back and forth. I add things to my cart. I let them sit there. I'll move it to the saved items. I am just not purchasing things. I thought the other day, I need to grab some more of like the stickers that I like. And I this one is not from Redbubble, but most of my stickers come from Redbubble. And I was like, I really need to get some more stickers because I'm running out, and Hobonichi weeks for September and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I should go to Redbubble. Like, I still have sticker sitting in my cart at Redbubble from like a month ago. And that's unheard of for me, but it has really turned into that. And that's, again, all areas. And I'm really more careful about my selections. Not, oh, I see this on an Instagram feed and I think that's really pretty, so I have to have one of those as well, and then just check out, boop, there it is, because obviously if this person likes it, that means that I'm gonna like it too, and my life isn't complete unless I have that thing, which brings me back to number one. Just because I like it doesn't mean that I have to buy it. Yeah, so delayed checkout. I rarely buy anything just straight out, and that's all areas of my life. Number three, I'm pretty set with my system and the tools that I use, and I don't really have many, if any, needs, like true needs. I have been challenging myself to use one planner for the last couple of months, and that is the Hobonichi Weeks, and it's just working for me. I feel like I've finally found a good, like, okay, I don't have an overly busy life. I can write things down on scratch pieces of paper or little notebooks that I carry with me that don't take up a lot of room. And the planner is, for me, not just to keep my crap together, but it's the place that I come back and look at the things that have happened in my life. And the one planner that I do that with and have done that with since, like, I don't know, a long time. It's been a long time since I've had Hobonichi Weeks in my life, probably 2015, 2016. This is the one planner I keep. This is the one planner I look back through over the years. This is the one planner that I need to stick with. And so it kind of makes it easier. And I'm not promising that this is the only planner I'm going to be in all year, because I do deal with the whole planner boredom thing. But I have a couple of different options. I have rings and I have all the inserts that you need. I have my Stalogy here, which I've kind of been like, I do like a good to-do list, but that can also happen in here. So the way I've been thinking about it is, I know that this layout works. I know that this system works. I know that this can work, and I know that my rings can work. And I also know that this silly little notebook from Walmart can work. So when I run out of pages for this, I'm happy to go buy another one. But why do I need to look for a different kind of notebook when this is working just fine? So just knowing that, I've kind of been in the game long enough, and I know what my likes and my dislikes are, and I know that I'm gonna reach for the same kind of pens. So why do I need to spend hours searching the best pen in the world when these are the ones that work the best for me? Where was I going with that? I don't need to spend the time. I don't need to spend the money, and there are plenty of other things for me to do besides obsess over stationery. I have bought some pens this year, even though that was one of the things that I have not. One was an emotional purchase because it reminded me of my grandma, who's been gone for 16 years now. And another one was some of those cheap ballpoint ink joys, because I have, it's a bigger notebook than this. It's not as big as like one of these 5-star notebooks, somewhere in the middle of these two things. And I use it at work to write my notes on every day. And I'm like, I would just like to have some fun colors. And I've been really into, unless it's my Hobonichi Weeks, which I really prefer these U brands felt tip pens in my Hobonichi Weeks. I have really been enjoying ballpoint pens after being a gel pen snob for about a billion years. And so I was like, I'm just gonna get some cheap ballpoint pens and go with it. And then I've been doing a Bible study, and I like using friction pens in this particular, like, big 8 by whatever, 11, whatever the paper size is. So I have been using friction pen in that workbook, and it just works for me. And I had actually gotten rid of a bunch of my friction pens. And so I just bought a small little pack with different colors. So those have been like really, for me, to get through 6 months out of the year. That's a lot less pens than I've ever purchased. And I've just been trying to go through my stash and use what I have and use the pens that I love. So yeah, I'm pretty set with my system and my tools, and I don't have a reason to shop for more. All right, number 4. Okay, so Happy Mail. It used to be my favorite thing, and it's still nice when it happens to have some Happy Mail, but there's been far less of it coming to my house this year. But Happy Mail can be overwhelming But at the same time, it can also be very underwhelming. So let me explain that. So happy mail, like I said before, you can't sleep, you're anxious, or you're bored, or you're unhappy with yourself, or insert a million things. And so you decide, what can I do with my time besides thinking about my problems, or going and do that workout, or changing my diet, or insert anything here. Oh yes, of course, I can go shopping online because it's so easy and all of your cards are stored and a million things down that rabbit trail. So you're making an online purchase for something that you desperately need at 2 a.m. and then you kind of forget all about it, and then here comes this package, and then maybe that was a really particularly bad night and you've got 5 packages at your door. Overwhelming because, again, not a lot of us have space for never-ending amounts of things. And that's basically where this whole no-buy came from. Me trying to get into a place where we have less things, because the more things you have, the more time you have to take to care for them. The whole kind of like minimalism movement. And I was like, that's going to be me. I'm going to be a minimalist, and I have to say, no, we're not buying another thing. And so one of the problems with making all of the purchases is that you have all this crap in your house. Say you go to Marshall's and you have all this random crap that you just purchased, and then you have to find a place for it all, and then are you going to follow the whole one in, one out rule and all of that? So when you are online shopping and you have all of these things delivered to you and you're like, oh crap, now I have to find something to do with these, or maybe you're embarrassed, or you are ashamed because you spent money that you didn't need to, and now what are you going to do? Because some of these places, it's hard to return things. And you're like, okay, well, that was like a checkout in a moment of weakness, and I didn't really want it, and I didn't really need it, and now what am I going to do? Because the money is already spent. Kind of turns into a, well, now it's here, I didn't really want it, and now it gets wasted, or I have to donate it, or try to sell it to somebody. And so that can be very overwhelming. The other thing is that it becomes very underwhelming, because part of the problem when it comes to buying things that you don't need, or things maybe even that you don't really want, is that you get the whole dopamine hit from actually doing the online shopping, but that was the thing that made you feel better, not the item that actually was coming in the mail. And so then you get these packages and you're like, oh, well, that wasn't as good as I imagined it in my head. No angels came out of the clouds and they're all singing praises, no confetti, no fireworks. And you're like, oh, this isn't as good as I thought it was going to be. And now I spent this money, and what the heck am I going to do with this crap? It kind of all ties together. Do I really, really need this? Is this something that is going to be a long-term thing, or is this a short-term itch, or what else is going on in my life that I can do besides purchasing the thing that is going to fix this or make this better? Just thinking about that, telling myself, yeah, if this is not a need, then you know that this isn't going to be as good when the mail is delivered as you're thinking that it is right now. And then just holding off on that cart, which has often turned into a no buy. All right, the last one. And I think that this is the one that I have to tell myself the most. And it usually turns into me not scrolling through social media as much. And that is that pretty pictures does not equal planner peace. And I say that because for me, I feel like I went into my planner purchases with the best intentions. And it was always seeking the right thing, seeking the thing that I thought was going to be the answer. But I can't tell you how many times a system that was working perfectly for me was derailed because of one photo that I would see on Instagram. And I know that that's a me problem and that not everybody deals with that, but I've had enough comments and messages on different social media platforms to know that it's not just me. Is it a personal problem? Yes, it is. But is it just me? Absolutely not. And seeing somebody else's photo with the implication that this is beautiful and it's comfortable and it's perfect, and look how this molds to your hand, and look how this matches the rest of your aesthetic in your life. And again, on and on and on it goes. I would go, oh, so that's what I'm looking for. So that's the feeling I'm after. This person has it. Her system is it. And so I need to try that planner, or I need to try that leather combination, or I need to try that pen, and I need to rearrange everything that I have going on with my own system, which 5 minutes ago was working perfectly, because this is it. But please remember that social media doesn't tell the whole story. Someone can share a wonderful, fabulous picture with tons of crap and chaos just beyond what you can see in the lens. People can have smiling faces, making it seem as if everything is going perfect in their life, while their marriage and relationships are crumbling around them. So do not base your peace, do not base your happiness on what you see others sharing, because it's curated. It's often not what reality is. And while there are those of us who do try to share with intention and with transparency and to kind of give you the real, I often say that it's difficult sometimes to share when I'm bouncing around with planners and I can't get my life together, because I feel like although most of the comments are very kind and, cheering you on, you still always have that person or two who is like, what is wrong with you? And why can't you get your life together? Or you're wasting money, or you're wasting, and on it goes. So it's difficult sometimes to share those things, but I push through and I do it anyway. But still yet, I'm going to share the best of me that I can. And there are times when I don't share, that when I'm really, really depressed, or I feel like I can't get my life together, because it's hard to stand up and be that person. And so people are sharing the best of what they can share. They're sharing the prettiest things that they can share, because that's what gets likes. And that's how you grow your account. That's how you grow your channel. That's how you get more ad revenue. That's how you make a little bit of side money to help support your family or help support your side hobby or whatever it is. And so just take everything you see on social media with a grain of salt. And just because it's working for that person in that moment, don't stop what you're doing, race the other direction, and pick up that thing. You're going to waste money, you're going to waste time, and I can almost guarantee you by the time that you get that thing in your hands, that person probably has already dropped it by then. So stay in your lane, do the thing that makes you happy, and don't feel the need to bounce around because you see something pretty and shiny on the internet. So yeah, I have not been perfect, and I clearly failed when it comes to a strict no-buy, but I feel like I have developed some really good habits, and I have calmed what I need and what I want down. I have found other things that have taken up my time. I feel so much better now that we have more sun and it's coming into summer. I spend all of my time at work doing workouts, spending time with my family, taking walks in the evening with my husband, with one of my kids, reading for mostly free. Fill your time with something other than looking for the things that you think that you're missing. And I promise you, you will feel much better. So yeah, that is what I have learned this year from my failed no-buy. I hope that there was something in this video that you found helpful in your own planner journey, or maybe just your life. I'd love to chat with you guys in the comments below. I know a lot of people were also attempting a low buy or a no buy. I'd love to know how you're doing now that we're 6 months into the year, which I cannot believe. But yeah, halfway through the year, what have you learned? What were your successes? What were your failures? I can't wait to chat with you guys. If you like this video, please do me a favor, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And if you're new around here and want to stick around for future content, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much as always for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys.